Whether Jeff Saturday is successful or not does not diminish the fact that the way he got this job was ridiculous and embarrassing and disrespectful to everyone else in the organization. Everyone doesn't feel great about this hire in the organization. What it says to everyone around the NFL, by the way, not just in-house, is that your hard work doesn't matter. What you put in doesn't matter. You could show up every day. You could get here early. You could leave late. You could put in years, blood, sweat, and tears. And if I have a better relationship with this guy, he's going to get the job over you. Remember that. And believe me, that message is received when you do things like this. So it's not about if Jeff Saturday wins a game over the Raiders or not. It's about the message that you send about hard work and how it pays off in your organization. And good people that have options don't go to organizations like that because they want to know they have upward mobility. They want to know that their hard work is going to be rewarded and respected. And what the Colts did, said, hard work doesn't matter, honey. Relationships do. Sorry about it. And everyone's doubling down on it now. And remember, since we're doing receipts, I'm going to keep those too. Because if you don't have to have requirements, if you don't have to have a resume to get a job, keep that same energy the next time a black coach is up for a job. I don't want to hear a word about what experience he has. What does he call in plays? Jeff Saturday sure wasn't calling no plays. He made that very clear. I am delegating all responsibility except for cheers and motivational speeches to everyone on the staff. So keep that same energy about calling plays. And here's my favorite part about this while I'm ranting. Keeping receipts.
She
the
thinks
next
she
time
cooking.
a woman's up for a job, I don't want to hear about the experience that she needs to have it. Because I already know she's excellent if she's getting the interview in the first place. So all you are loud and tweeting and celebrating this whole thing and celebrating the fact that you don't need certain kind of accomplishments or resume to get a job, keep that same energy.
Ain't it crazy?
Please.
Ain't it crazy how this aged like sour milk? Actually, I think that it aged like fine wine because who could have ever predicted that a person like Joy Taylor, who we put in the same vein as Amali Kiram and Malika Andrews, and so many other women that are participating in men's spaces that feel obligated that we can't even consider a DEI hire anymore because we know that it was all based off of the fact that they slept their way to the top. And I can't say it for all women, but I think that all women are on notice, especially after considering different people that were in the building, like a Jason Whitlock, like a Marcellus Wiley, that can confirm that certain sentiments was communicated that was also showcased and highlighted inside of that lawsuit. And she sat here and she went off. She went off about prioritizing and how upward mobility and who is really qualified for the job. And never mind the fact that the rant itself was actually trash and she thought that she was cooking. And her ability to communicate effectively is not as dope as people like to think that it is. And so when we then call it out and say, hey, man, these women is trash, they really only for looks. How did they get there in the first place? They'll sit there and go off on men and try to hold them accountable. And this is one of the reasons why it's so difficult to take people like Cam Newton seriously when they simp out for Molly and they say how excellent they are. How can Cam Newton evaluate how excellent somebody is when it comes to being able to produce a national TV show? Who is he? How did he become the litmus test for determining whether or not Jason Whitlock is right for identifying it and calling it exactly how it was, straight down the line, balls and strikes, no pun intended. But the fact of the matter is, when you listen to her, she sounds crazy. And the fact that she was saying what she was saying, on top of the fact that she can't communicate as effectively as somebody that really probably deserves the job, that may not have slept their way to the top. Boy, the level of hypocrisy inside of these clips is mind-blowing. And for people like a Jason Whitlock and not a Jason Whitlock, I'm sorry, a Cam Newton and a Willie D and a Godfrey, and we're going to get to all of them, I promise you. The one thing that we not going to leave, because we see too many guys get accused on a regular basis and they jump to conclusions and they automatically condemn them and convict them in the court of public opinion. Because we see this on a regular basis, We got to call it like it is and we got to bring it to the front of the congregation because we say believe all women. We always have diversity, equity, and inclusion. We see too many people saying equal work for equal pay. We keep on having all of these people in people's spaces that's not even supposed to be there. And so we got to bring it to the front of the congregation. And the fact that not only does she still have her job, because so many men have been suspended, removed, fired just for the fact that the optics don't look good. But Fox Sports 1 is not only supporting her, but also turning off the comments so that people can't say nothing. And they just staying quiet about it while also supporting this woman that not only did she sleep her way to the top according to the lawsuit, but on top of it, was planning to do a Me Too, falsely accuse a guy of doing something that he wasn't supposed to do, even though she was participating in it, is egregious. Is egregious. And I know that it's a lot of simps out there that just want to say, Time Dog, let it go. Nope. Nope. And I don't have to be Me Too'd. I don't have to be hurt. And I don't have to be in a situation where I'm bitter before I speak on the behalf of what's right and what's best for men and what's best for the culture and what's best for business and what's best for society and what's best for righteousness. Because why do we have to wait for something to happen before you then become under duress and then nobody wants to hear from you because they think that you're complaining because you're bitter? But why can't you speak from a position of power, proactively advocating for the thing that is right because it's just the right thing to do? And when you hear people like this ranting and raving, they are lunatics, loony bin, and hypocritical, and they need to be held accountable. And the fact that there's so many simps thinking that she gonna somehow, some way come down off of her Fox Sports pedestal from they freak offs and give them some box like she cares anything about you. As a matter of fact, not only do she not care about you, she dissed y'all. She told y'all that y'all was incels, that y'all was simps, that y'all was still gonna follow her. And honestly, I got to give her credit because, in a way, she was absolutely correct. She was 100% right. She was absolutely accurate in identifying that there will always be these suckers and these simps that's going to come to her defense. You know why? Because she got big cans. And the fact that y'all don't even want to identify, y'all said, Cam Newton sat here and said, peanut butter skin is offensive. Peanut butter skin is offensive. It's so many people I would love to see speak on this. It's so many people I would love to hear talk about this. But you know what they doing? Whispers. Quiet as a church mouse. You know why? Because it's a woman. It just so happened to be a woman that's decent looking. And then now the men are doing what the women is doing, and they're saying or they're shaming these guys and trying to throw ad hominem attacks for calling it like it is. But you know why this is a problem? Is because she's a representation of what happens every single day, not only on Fox Sports, but every day in America, every day in culture, every day in corporate America, every day when it comes to the people that you deal with on a regular basis. And it's toxic, it's horrible, and this is very much an example of why we will never be equal, why privilege exists, and you need to call it out if you want meaningful change. You got to remove your simp and your simplification, and you have to start being objective and then learn how to operate with dick discipline so you can see clearly and call out the hypocrisy. This aged beautifully. It aged absolutely beautifully. And I think that it is a perfect example to exemplify why you have to be careful about the people that you pedestalize and the people that you support, and you got to call it straight up down the middle. And she gonna sit here and start going back and forth. Not only, hey, she hit every single point that she could possibly hit. She hit it about privilege. She hit black culture. She hit the women thing. She hit the organization, who earns and who deserves it, and all of that stuff. And y'all just let her get away with it. Not over here. You know how we do it over here. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all tune in to After Hours tonight.